Hi folks, John Zajaros here from UltimateBadBackStrategies.com, thebadbackguy.net, and others. Up to this point, we've been talking about how to stop back pain, how to stop neck pain, how to get relief from sciatica. And we've talked about it from basically the standpoint of increasing activity. But I thought it was important that you understand what's going on behind the scenes, so to speak. I've used this particular illustration of the spine, which has a nice lateral and anterior or front view, because of the fact that it has a nice kind of separation of the various curvatures of the spine with these colors. And this is central to what I wanted to talk about today. Basically, there are two types of curvatures of the spine. There are primary curvatures, which are the thoracic and the sacrococcygeal curvature. And then there are secondary curvatures, the curvatures of the cervical and lumbar region. Now, the primary curvatures, as you can probably guess, are there before we're born. These are pretty much fixed. The thoracic curvature is set in place pretty much by the rib cage and doesn't have the kind of dynamic movement capabilities that the cervical and lumbar region do, which develop after we're born. The cervical, as you can probably guess, is a response to our holding our heads up, and the lumbar in response to our standing and walking on two legs. Sometimes some people walk on two legs better than others, but that's the reasoning for these various curvatures. Now, what happens is as we age, and I've looked at approximately 10,000 skeletons, and so the data is very robust on this, and it's almost by decade. What happens is that these curvatures tend to break down, and the breakdown mimics the curvature of the spine. By that I mean that in the cervical and lumbar region, the breakdown of the spine, whether it be the intervertebral discs, the discs in between each vertebra, or the vertebra themselves, they break down at a predictable rate over time. And the reason for this is because as we get older, certain things start to happen. Number one, our muscles weaken. As our muscles weaken, the spine comes under increasing stress. Now, what happens as the muscles weaken and the spine comes under more stress, the bones start to change. Not only do you see the development of bony spurs, sometimes referred to as osteophyte bridges, but you also see a breakdown in the facet joints, the joints at the back of the vertebra, where the vertebrae actually articulate with one another, where they actually connect with one another, stacked one on top of the other and separated by these intervertebral discs. The discs themselves are made up of cartilage, and the center of the disc is called the nucleus pulposus, and the nucleus pulposus is kind of like the middle of a jelly donut, with the IVD itself being the outside, and we will get into all of that in a subsequent video. But for now, what happens is that as the spine, particularly these secondary curvatures, come under more pressure and more stress as we age, as the muscles weaken, as we gain weight, as we become dehydrated, because the IVDs are predominantly water. So as we dehydrate, and believe it or not, one of the biggest culprits is drinking a lot of coffee because of the fact that it's a diuretic. But again, we'll get into that in a subsequent video. For now, the fact that these changes occur, and they occur by decade, and they mimic these secondary curvatures, is remarkable and contributes to neck pain, back pain, and sciatica. See you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.